Hello, I'm Coach John Shepherd and I'm going to answer your jumping questions. Questions that have been sent in via my Instagram. Okay, the first question comes in from Malcolmist and he's unsure about the step lengths coming into the board for the long jump. He's unsure as to whether or not the last step should be short or long. Well, generally it is the shortest, as you don't cast your foot out as far in front of your centre of mass as you would do when you're sprinting. Also, to get a more effective takeoff, you need to strike under your hip. So generally, as I've said, it will be the shortest step. However, there are variations. Some jumpers, such as Juan Miguel Echevarria and Ivana Spanovic, can push their foot out further in front of their hips in order to impart more eccentric force, vertical force I should say, on the takeoff. For want of a better way of putting it, the last three steps should be normal length, longer than shorter. The penultimate step is longer, generally as the athlete sets very slightly by dropping their centre of mass, and this puts them into a more powerful position in order to impart vertical velocity as well as horizontal velocity at takeoff. If the last two steps are short, then the chances are the jumper will speed across the board, not get vertical and over rotate. Okay, the second question is from Tommy Nguyen from the US, and he's a 17-year-old combination jumper. He's a best of 6.67 in the long and nearly 13 meters in the triple. And he's specifically asking about his triple jump, and he needs to know why, or what he can do rather, to get a better phase distribution and not speed through his phases without creating enough distance on each. Well, that's a perennial problem for novice starting out triple jumpers. What I saw from his video was that he was not holding his phases, and also crucially, he wasn't working his transitions. To put those things right is no easy fix. It's a combination of technical and conditioning elements. So for example, from the hop to the step, he's got to open it out. He's got to drive his free leg into the takeoff, but perhaps more importantly, circle the hopping leg around to the front, pulling the foot up high and past the knee or close to the knee of the non-hopping leg in the flight phase. Doing this will put the foot out in front of the centre of mass. It has to come from the hip, the knee, then the foot. Then you have to be active on the landing in order to create the velocity needed to transfer you into the next phase. And that needs to be combined with a powerful swing of the free leg up into the step and the use of the arms. So I suggested that he used a double arm action. In my answer to Tommy, I suggested that he performed combinations of hops and bounds, specifically 2 hops and a jump and 2 bounds and a jump, initially from 4 to 6 steps, in order for him to have enough control on his phases, in order for him to focus on the elements that I talked about earlier. Regular repetition of those specific drills will help his triple jumping in the long term. He can then push his run up back longer, but still perform 2 hops and a jump, 2 bounds and a jump. Of course, he should still be triple jumping, doing the hop-step combination at the same time. But what he needs to do is develop the technical ability and have the conditioning, the necessary conditioning too, which will enable him to hold onto his phases. And right, okay, the final question. This comes in from a master athlete, GOAT 110 meters hurdler, who was in his day a good 7 meter plus long jumper. And he wants to know about the structure of a run-up, not the last 3 steps in this case, unlike Tommy, but the first number of steps and the middle transitory phase. He asks whether it should be long steps to shorter ones or shorter ones to longer ones. So I think here he's talking about how do you accelerate on your run-up. I favour, for want of a better way of putting it, longer to shorter steps, but it should be longer to normal sprinting step length. So it's rather like a 100-metre race where you're imparting more force at the start of your run-up in order to create that acceleration. So the body needs to be leaned forwards. So perhaps 5 to 6 accelerative strides with low heel recovery and inclined body position. Then you come up into your normal sprinting. If, however, you're a shorter step length person at the start, there will be greater cadence, and that would enable you to feel that you're increasing your velocity quicker. The problem is you might not literally be going anywhere significantly because you'll be turning over your feet quickly but not imparting pressure on the track to push yourself forwards. So basically I would recommend that you're deliberate at the start and use longer steps. Well, I hope my answers to those 3 questions will help you and your long and triple jumping. Do keep sending in the questions either to my YouTube channel or, as is the case today, my Instagram account, and I'll do my best to answer them. Good luck with any competitions you may have, and keep up your training. Make sure it's optimized, specific and focused, and you'll get the best from it. Do subscribe to the channel and look out for a collab video coming soon with Matthias Bühler, German double Olympic hurdler, where we talk hurdles, hurdle conditioning and find out more about how to warm up specifically for the hurdles.